Well, good morning everyone. It's now Saturday, the day after Friday. Of course, yesterday we went to Beasley Knob. Had some good time. A lot of turnout, great turnout. And since it's still nice out, going to Aetna Mountain in Tennessee today. General admission ride there, so the last time of the year, so I figured I'd go there. So hopefully we have some other folks showing up, and we're gonna have a great time there. So let's get started.
Alright, so I'm going to do a little voice-over recording in this video. Can kind of talk through what happened. So here we're arriving at the Aetna Mountain Adventures parking lot. And this trip, it was just me and Cole Bradford. I appreciate Cole's dedication to go riding at Aetna Mountain day after we went to Beasley. The cost is normally $25 per vehicle, plus I think $5 per passenger. And you have general admission rides every 6 weeks or so, so just check their Facebook page. So this is the entrance. The first climb, as you could see in the previous clip, is pretty steep, rocky. And this is the trail to what they call the tram. Alright, as you can see here, there's just a lot of power line trails. Very rocky and very steep as well. And it's private property, so you cannot just show up and go riding here. So this is our first real steep descent. I was leading, so I wasn't sure about this, to be quite honest with you. A lot of the trails we drove on the 25th yesterday, we never rode before, so I've never rode before, so it was a great experience. It was a great experience. So. Yeah, what you hear in the background is my scanner, so it just picks up all kinds of radio traffic in the area. Alright, so that was not really a problem. Just put it in low gear, in the first low gear, and just let the engine brake. We paused there for a little bit and took some pictures, and then we just drove in a trail that was very hard to determine where the trail actually was. As you can see in this video here, you can barely make out some tracks, but because of all the leaves, the tracks are just barely visible. So it was a little bit of guesswork as to where the trail actually was going. But on the left hand side you can see there's a little stream, and we were kind of just following that along. So here was I like, oh, where do I go? Just hit a rock there with my differential, but luckily I got protection on the differential, so no damage. But I figured this is probably the trail, so we just kept going. Still on the same trail. So far, not real difficult. Couple rocks here and there, but fairly smooth riding. Now here there were two lines. The tree right in the middle there, the little one, you can stay to the left or to the right. I figured I stayed to the right and dive straight into that little creek that you see there with the rocks. But as you can see, I just slid sideways into that little tree. I tried to wiggle my way forward and backward to see if I could back up, but every time my wheels move, I slid against the tree again. So since I was the lead vehicle, the little tree was against my driver's side door. I couldn't get out.
Yeah, I'm stuck against this tree just like Reese was yesterday, so you gotta winch me out.
Alright, so we're at Aetna Mountain, and because of all the leaves on the ground, it's hard to see the trail, quite honestly, and it's hard to see if it's slick or not, and as a result I'm now sideways into a tree. So the recovery team is working on winching me out, but they're sliding down as well, so we are now attaching the blue Jeep to a tree. So hopefully that will work. Just need about a foot or so. I'm clear right now, but as soon as I move I slide down into that tree again, so fun stuff.
Alright, so we made it out of there after a little bit of winching. And we kept moving. So he'll get close to the end of the trail, still following the creek, and just being aware of the slickness underneath the leaves. Try to pick my lines carefully so not to slide into a tree again. But as you can see, it's pretty narrow for a JKU to make those tight turns.
I'm sure if my CB is working right.
Yeah, I hear you loud and clear.
Yeah, that was our very talkative
Yeah, I heard
friend.
that.
Alright, so trying to wiggle my way through the trees here. Of course, as the lead vehicle, you always have the disadvantage of not really knowing where the correct angles are and trails in this particular instance, since there's really no trail. Yeah, just push it through. There you go.
Picked up alive.
Yeah, so a little tree fell over on top of my Jeep. There you go. Push it through.
I see a trail off to the right of me.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I picked the right line, but for me that was the best line. So maybe for you guys shorter wheelbase, you might stay up higher.
Real easy to miss one line or another out here anyway. I like doing trails like this that I wouldn't have done by myself necessarily.
Yeah, this gets pretty tricky if you get stuck by yourself.
Yeah, our friend that tagged along, love to
I
talk.
like doing hard trails once I know them, but if I don't know them, there's a lot of mystery.
Yeah, I don't recognize this trail. I thought I did, but maybe it's because it's fall now and looks different. But
Cole's in a tight spot back there. I'm gonna make sure he's clear.
Alright, so here we're back on the power line trails again. Got some folks coming up, so we just parked on the side and received an invitation for a barbecue.
howdy.
Where y'all headed?
Everywhere.
We're at a Split Rock, y'all won't follow.
It's on our way back.
Gotcha.
Split Rock is nice.
Yeah, we gonna head out there, man. Gonna cook some burgers.
What time? You got beer?
Well, this Jeep don't go anywhere without beer. It's beer powered. I'm surprised yours ain't. That's how you get a $40,000 rig in the woods.
Yeah, well, we kind of got stuck. We took this little trail and then make a right here and then a left.
Yeah.
With all the leaves, you can't see where the trail is, and it's slick as hell. So I slid into a tree and let the winch out and all that. But
Ain't too bad.
yeah, it's all right. That's what it's for.
Y'all need to follow us. We got 4. I got 4 behind me here.
Yeah, I know you guys, but we're going to make it up the hill here, and we'll see where we end up. I know. Split Rock is on our to-do list as well today. It's a nice view.
That's where we're headed right now. Pick out and see what happens.
All righty.
Y'all have a good one.
You too. Howdy.
So here we're back in the woods and bumped into these 2 other Jeeps as well as this little side-by-side. Those other 2 Jeeps looked pretty much stock and took the bypass. But on the left-hand side, as you'll see shortly, there was a nice deep rut, similar to Sheep's Wallow, kind of. Luckily, it was dry, and I can't imagine doing this particular section when it's wet. So with the driver's side, just hug the left as high as you can. Hopefully you don't slide down. We didn't slide down. Everybody made it through. No problemo. Very well on this 2-dimensional video is that it's going up pretty steep as well. So not only you have the deep rut to work with, but also the steep incline. But as you can see, it's fairly easy.
I was running on the sides of my tires.
So at the top, we bumped into these folks over here. You know, if a Hummer can make it, then obviously a Jeep has no problems whatsoever. Alright, in the background you can hear me pouring some team.
Alright, so we've been riding for a couple hours. Doing okay?
Woo! That one ditch was something.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's what you call a rut. So we're just gonna hang out here for a moment and take some pictures.
Alright, so right after we took those pictures, we went
I was coming up, though.
down this steep decline again. Loose rocks, definitely had white knuckles going down this one.
Alright, I'm at the bottom.
And not only is it going down, it's slanted as well. So you're always thinking about, oh, if I start sliding with the rear, I'm going to flip over. Right after, when you get to the bottom, there's this steep, loose rock climb. So
That's crazy steep. You think it's okay with short wheelbase?
I couldn't tell you. Take it slow. But if you want to hold it for a sec, I will park it up here and take a look.
I'll probably be. I haven't been down it.
Alright, so this is going down very steep. Never went down this way, went up and made it. So let's hold it. No! Driver's side! Driver's side! Put your driver's wheel on the top of that rut, just like I did.
so there's about four ruts or so. They're pretty deep. And again, what I mentioned earlier is you don't want to get into that rut and start tipping over
Yep.
more.
There you go.
It doesn't look that steep, but trust me, you're hanging in your seatbelts. But again, low gear, first gear, and just engine brake and add some additional brake. There was no problem. So right after that, everybody made it down and then up the hill. This is a section that we did last year, not actually this year, with some other group of Georgia Wranglers, and we went down, and it was steep going down. So now we're basically going the reverse way. We're going up. Again, hard to tell, but extremely steep. That section that you see right in front of you just before the power line mast on the left-hand side there. You can see a lot of loose rocks. This is the steep section here. And that's 45-degree up.
Yeah, I think this road on our left here, if we could keep going straight, we end up on pavement. So let me check this side trail here for a second, see if that's anything.
So we just drove around a little bit, found a trail. Decided just to check it out, and it led us to some great riding. Also extremely steep declines and ascents. Again, it's hard to see, but steep and rocky. Grinding through the rocks here, just keep it going. So as you can see here, it's going down seems like vertical when you sit in your Jeep. So I went out and took a look and decided, okay, which route do I take? There's a tree to the right of me. You can stay to the left or to the right. To the left has a little slanted, and I was concerned that if you go down and start sliding, you would slide sideways.
I have been on this once before.
So deciding which one is the most straight line. So
slow. It's all about taking it easy. All right.
of course, as the lead vehicle, you're always a sucker to go first. But I'm so damn good at driving that
Line it up.
I got no issues. But as you can see here, this is just straight, which I figured is better than taking the trail to the left, which there's some angles that I just didn't like. So again, it's going down very steep and then followed by another steep hill climb. And that's kind of how that trail was. It was up and down, up and down. And again, it's very steep. So my dad were getting close to the end of the trail here, but again, never drove this trail. So this was kind of like a oh moment, as you can see in at the climb there in front of us. There's some big rocks, so I was a little bit nervous about that. So there's really no easy way. I figured staying to the left is probably the easiest. Get one wheel, passenger side on the rock, and let's keep moving. But again, with a JK, there's some tight turns, and as you will see shortly, I just had to line it up correctly. Didn't make it on the first try. There we go. Different section here.
Yeah, go back more. I would go passenger side a little bit.
A little rocky hill climb.
Yeah, go back more. You have your lockers on, right? You don't have lockers? Well, you have a lot of driver skills, so it's about the same as having lockers, right? Yeah, okay, so try to stay on this side. Yep, and now move over there. Yeah, keep going, yep, keep going. There you go. Woohoo! We're airborne.
Alright, our friend that followed us, a little bit nervous about tipping over each time we had a situation like this. So we tried to talk him through. As you'll see, he gets nervous once the driver's side front wheels start to get airborne.
Just back up just a little bit.
But again, Cole made it without lockers on there. He has this one here. You see right here, this blue one has rear lockers. His front lockers broke or weren't working. So he should have made it. Just again, bump it up, but he tried to go very slowly, and unfortunately didn't work for him.
Ah, you're looking good. Come on, keep going. You can hug this line over here.
Again, here you just want to kind of bump it up there, but he just didn't want to do that, concerned that he would flip over.
No, you're good. If you hug this over here, your passenger tire will go on first. The problem is that both your front tires are hitting that ledge over here, and both your rear tires are hitting that ledge. So it might be better to go in like on an angle. But you want to hug it here then. And
it's not easy to get my passenger
all right.
down the trail. Let me see if I can come forward with the bug.
You have lockers in the front, right?
Huh?
You have lockers in the front?
My rear's locked, but my front locker's blinking.
Well, try, go slow, try. Mine blinks too, but it just means they installed differential housing incorrectly.
I was referring to the little mushroom pin that indicates if the lockers are engaged. When
Good. Driver's side.
When I had my front gears done, that wasn't installed correctly. Again, it locks, but
no, keep going.
The light blinks.
Bump it up. You got it.
I don't know.
No, you just keep.
Anywho, he ended up winching himself over that ledge. You can only do so much. Again, looks are deceiving here, but this is a steep climb, and Cole, he got stuck for a moment.
Yeah, you just got to bump it a little bit. Not even here.
It was in my head that was bad.
All right, so we're now still somewhere on Aetna Mountain. Less traveled trails, and we got some hairy stuff that we encountered. Keep going. Some steep descents and off-camber stuff.
So our friend here was nervous again, tipping over, so...
I thought we had a little uh-oh moment when I saw this here, but...
And that's it. Hope you enjoyed the video. See you guys on the trails.